So with that, we'll move on to our first information item, if everyone's okay with that. Okay. Which is our community division summer 2018 highlights. And I know Miss Jenna Bacalor is coming up to the mic. Dr. Swift, do you want to introduce this?
Thank you, Madam President and trustees, members of the community. As you all know, our Rec and Ed and Community Division is a major operation in the district. The middle of June, when we are gearing down with our 18,140 students, the Rec and Ed Division is gearing up. And I think their slogan over there is "It's always summer at Rec and Ed," because their work is around planning and ensuring quality enrichment opportunities. I'm so very proud of this community division. It was something that I witnessed on the very first day in the district, the very first day I ever served, and was so impressed. This is one of the best Rec and Ed divisions in the country, and they benchmark themselves against only a few others in the country. We base that assessment not on our own personal bias, but on the actual data of how many students they serve, how we do this inside of the district at a day and a time where most districts across the country have completely cut their community division because of the expense. Our Rec and Ed division is self-funding and makes their own way, and we're very, very proud of this group, and I'm very excited. This is not their annual report, but this is an annual report, which is to share their summer highlights. And with that, Ms. Bacalor.
Hello again, trustees and Dr. Swift. I'm so excited to speak with you tonight about, basically my subtitle for this is what the community division did on our summer staycation. And I'm also very pleased to have Marge Hyde, our manager of early childhood, here with me tonight. Give everybody a wave, Marge. Yay, Marge. Yeah, we're very happy to have Marge with us, and I will talk a little bit more about her work later. The presentation tonight will start with an introduction to the community division really quickly, in case you hear the words community division and you have no idea what we're talking about. Then I will get into highlights from our partnership area, from Rec and Ed, and be happy to answer your questions. And you'll notice sprinkled throughout, there are about 1 million pictures, and I think this is the biggest megabyte presentation I have ever developed. It's 201 megabytes.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to deliver it on old-fashioned technology, which was a flash drive. So anyway, we have so many wonderful pictures of children having a great time that I basically put all of them in there. So anyway, so we will move forward. In case you're asking the question, what exactly is the community division? It's a joining together of district programs and services that support students, teachers, and other staff, as well as the broader community. So you're familiar with Rec and Ed. We have our team sports, our lifelong learning, our early childhood. We also offer, we just do several services for the school district. But what the community division does is fold together Rec and Ed and our partnership work. We have our strategic partnerships and volunteers, which is a revised version of our old business partnership position, and that covers our business, University of Michigan and other higher ed, nonprofit and other partnerships, scholarships for graduating seniors, and our big district level volunteer programs. Our international partnerships focus on not study abroad, but different types of going abroad opportunities like our longstanding Hiconi program, as well as welcoming students into the district from foreign countries who are studying with us under F1 or J1 visas. And finally, our wellness area is focused on partnerships that directly help students, and we hope to expand more to staff as well, be healthy in our school buildings. And partnerships a lot of them are with U of M, like Project Healthy Schools and others. So this, at the beginning of the summer, we embarked on a little journey together. All of the leaders in time, our entire department, asking some critical questions. And the first one is existential. What do we do? Why are we here? What is our purpose? How can we work effectively together in this new configuration? How can we leverage what we do to help each other have more of a positive impact on students and teachers? So if you're familiar with Simon Sinek and the Golden Circle and Start With Why, that's where we started. We started with why and asked some critical questions. And what we found is naturally, probably not a surprise, all of our work centers around students and staff in the community. We're trying to make things better in very tangible ways. And what we found, and this hopefully won't come as a surprise, are 4 areas of common purpose and goals across the entire community division. And what we're trying to promote are these 4 things: learning for a lifetime, health, well-being, and joy. And we deliberately added the word joy to our purpose: a strong community, and access, inclusion, and diversity. What you'll see, and I think you have copies of the presentation too, is a couple slides that explain what does enacting our purpose look like. And good news, I'm not going to read this to you. You can just read it at your leisure. But what you'll notice is that in each category, there are programs like direct services, and a lot of those are Rec and Ed, but also some of that how. How do we promote learning for a lifetime? And that's through our volunteer coordination, for example. How do we promote health and well-being and joy? Sometimes it's through our wellness and nutrition promotion for students. So that can be a program, it can be different types of partnerships like the how, and also some of them are ideas that are aspirational for our division. So the bullet points represent both what we do and how we do things, going back to that golden circle again. And I invite you to take a look through at your leisure. So now I will just move us right along, and we will get to the next part of our presentation, summer highlights from the partnership areas. And don't these U of M students look amazing? I mean, I want to be in that class. They're so happy and rosy-cheeked and just beaming. So Nancy Shore, our strategic partnership and volunteer coordinator, took this picture right before she delivered, I'm going to move on to the next slide, our new orientation program. Nancy spent quite a bit of time auditing and assessing all of our U of M partnerships. And if we had more time, I would have you all guess, how many U of M partnerships do you think we have? And the answer is at least 50, 50, between U of M and our school district. And that's both small partnerships at the building level that might have formed because somebody knew somebody or they're a graduate and they're connecting with their old professor, to our really big programs that are like the U of M School of Kinesiology that regularly sends 60 to 80 volunteers to work with us. So Nancy's been working closely with the Ginsberg Center on campus and really mapping out what those partnerships look like. And one thing she discovered is that there isn't an orientation for U of M students, and there are some things that they're always wondering. So she developed this great new orientation program and has been rolling it out this fall. And her focus is really on the district level partnerships. So these are partnerships with U of M where they're sending volunteers or they're helping out in other ways, multiple buildings at once. She also connected with 5 major employers this summer. And of course, we took part in the annual Stuff the Bus event that the county and United Way do. And we collected nearly 2,500 donated school supplies, and she distributed them. So we're really proud of the work in this area, and she's able also to respond to certain requests. So she connected our CTE program with 3 local businesses so that the teachers could visit the businesses and get more of a hands-on feel for what they do. The next area is our wellness and nutrition partnerships, and a lot of work happened this summer as well. We have a probably 3-year-old partnership between Food Gatherers and Chartwells, where we offer the summer food. The federal government calls it a feeding program, but I think that's a terrible name. So we just call it Meet Up to Eat Up, which is it's kind of the national slogan. So we connected in at Carpenter and Pittsfield this year to provide breakfast and lunch to children who were participating in the Title I program. Another thing that I'm really excited to announce is that over the summer, a group from U of M Project Healthy Schools, our wellness coordinator, Angela Demetrio, and others from our childcare area formed a committee and reviewed and revised the AAPS school-age childcare snack menu. And this was a huge job. All of our snacks now meet the after-school healthy eating standards set by the National After-School Association. And this is something that I've been wanting for a long time, and it finally happened this summer through our partnership work. Then in international partnerships, we are about to send a student delegation to Hikone, Japan. This is the 40th anniversary of our relationship with the middle schools there. And also Jennifer Nemechek has been very busy coordinating enrollment of 32 high school students from various countries who are studying with us this year. Some of our challenges are just to let people know that the partnership coordinators exist. So I'm doing a lot of talks like this and trying to get people to know how they serve as a bridge to the classroom, a bridge to students, a bridge to teachers with resources and other types of support to just help. We're just trying to help. And our plans for this year is to really use an equity lens to look at our programming as we're planning and make sure that we're collaborating in ways that make sense across the partnership area in Rec and Ed. All right, are you guys still with me? Are we here? All right, yay. Now we're gonna get to the super fun part. These are our beautiful, amazing, wonderful children. And I also wanted to point out that Andrew Cluley did a fantastic job getting some videos of our of at least 3 of our camps this summer and of Safety Town. They're really great, so please check them out on the YouTube channel. Okay, so back to a few numbers, but I just want to tell you, this was one of our best summers ever for Rec and Ed. And I can just say it flat out. We had more youth registration, more youth involved in our programs than we have before, over 7,500 registrations, all the way from Safety Town, which Marge Hyde runs, she had an increase in her preschool camp enrollment, early childhood classes, and then, as you know, for 11 weeks, when everybody was, when the teachers and other people were doing PD or they were taking their much needed vacation time, we were running week-long summer day camp sessions all over town. So we had 225 day camp sessions, over 5,000 registrations, and that was 9,000 higher than, or 9% higher than 2017. So we just had like a banner year. And also we had lots of youth involved in our recreational sports, 101 teams. If you saw kids playing baseball and softball and t-ball around town, they probably had a Rec and Ed shirt on. We're also very proud that we offer a high school volleyball league. This is a sport that continues to be popular. And we also had youth participate in summer classes and instructional sport classes as well. All of that added up to about 7,514. We also provided a lot of scholarships to students from families who definitely are not able to afford the programs. You can see we had 438 scholarships, either full or partial, with a value of just about $74,000. So you may recall, and I won't ask you to raise your hand if you recall, but you may recall back in the spring, I talked about 3 goals that we have for summer camps. And the first goal is enhance well-being, and the way that we think about that is more of the physical activity. We really want to keep kids physically active in all different kinds of ways. So what ended up happening with that? Well, I've included some parent quotes, which I won't read to you, but are there for you to read. But we had over 2,000 sport camps registrations, and a lot of them are really geared to, in these very welcoming environments, to help kids develop skills or just see if they might like a sport. And as part of that, we had 985 swimmers. And that's, of course, because children were able to swim in the Scarlet Pool and the Forsyth Pool. And every single camp, whether it was a sport camp or not, had active and outdoor time. So here come some pictures, all these kids being active. As you can see, a wide range of activities. I can't even list them all for you, all the different types of sports. And also nature-based activity as well. Our second goal is engage for growth, and those are this is really trying to tie in with the AAPS curriculum by providing hands-on experiences at camp that allow children to explore an area that they may be interested in but not have a test at the end. So we offered 29 science, technology, or STEAM camps from preschool to 8th grade, and we had 530 registrations in that area. And, you know, we also do a lot of evaluating at ReckonEd, and 80% of parents, no matter what the camp was, said their child learned something new at camp. So taking a look at some pictures here, I included a couple pictures from our Project Lead the Way VEX BattleBot camp, which is the first time we've offered this. It was super awesome, and this is one of the videos that Andrew did. We also offered Little Medical School Camp. So the girls on the bottom right are showing off the casts that they made. And cast making, if you didn't know, is very fun for kids to do, because they all signed each other's casts. They learned a lot about everything about human anatomy and the human body, and it was really great. We also had a little vet school camp, which was equally adorable. And finally, our third goal is to build community. We want to provide welcoming environments for youth to make friends across schools, across neighborhoods. And I know I've mentioned this before to you trustees, but every time I walk into a camp, I ask the kids, where do you go to school? And every time they're from all over town, and they're just meeting each other for the first time. And it's hard to measure the impact over time of that, but I do believe that it contributes to a stronger community. We also, we piloted a middle school volunteer program this year, and I've got a few pictures coming up to show you. So we had volunteers in about 128 of our camps. They contributed 7,878 hours. Isn't that amazing? And really did a wonderful job. And we had, Marge has a great program at Safety Town for a lot of the volunteers like to be there. And that's where I would be, so I would be sure to be taller than them. And then in the evaluation, you know, our core thing is we want kids to have fun, right? If kids aren't having fun, we all just need to go home. So 93% of parents said that their children had fun. Of those 7%, I think that didn't, who said no or not sure, it was 5 or 6% who said not sure. So that was a little bit of a relief, that maybe they have a child like one of my children who won't say boo about whatever the thing was that they did. So maybe the parents just don't know. And then 73% of parents rated the camps welcoming environment is outstanding, and another 23% said was average. And this is something we really worked on this year. We had special training for staff and for volunteers. We used some of the techniques from responsive classrooms, and I'll show you a few pictures to illustrate what I'm talking about. So up here in the top right, you see one of our very talented camp leaders leading a morning meeting, and we trained our in-house camp staff to lead morning meetings every day. The kids in every picture who have on those green neon shirts are the volunteers, and they add so much to our camps. And the child in the bottom right in the green shirt is actually one of our middle school campers, and he was really into helping at this science camp. And we also celebrated Camp Kindness Day as part of it's a national event that has just started this year. So we were like on the ground floor, and Dr. Swift was kind enough to come visit. Kind enough, sorry. Very punny. And the children in various camps had different kindness activities that they were doing that day, and we had kindness signage around. So you can see lots of great community building. And I love that we can make it happen between older students and younger students as well. I wanted to say a special thank you to the Ann Arbor Bicycle Touring Society. They donated $5,000 to Safety Town so that every child received a bike helmet. And they're a truly wonderful group. And that's Lynn Babcock, who I believe is the chair of their board. No? She's a board member. I don't know if you can tell, but she has a fancy AAPS jacket on, which was very snazzy. And they make such a great contribution. Our youngest children can get a bike helmet at Safety Town. So some of our successes and challenges and plans for next year. This year we tried some new things. We had smaller camps divided by age. Parents responded very well to that, and we thought the camps themselves ran a lot better. We piloted that middle school volunteer program, and I have to tell you, in some cases, the middle school volunteers were more engaged and more into it than the high school students. As I mentioned, we focused on social emotional support through various means. We preloaded all the scholarship slots into camps so that scholarship participants could just more easily register. We offered some new camps. So as always, we're trying to get better. We want to do better every year. So for next year, we're looking at doing that same social emotional support training for our vendors. That's people like Flipside Art, Nutty Science, who we hire to provide some of our camp content. We'll probably do some restructuring of the volunteer program, and we're always working on making registration easier. Always, always. I wanted to say many thanks to you all, trustees, for supporting the work that we do, to Superintendent Swift, to our middle schools who hosted us this year, to our various departments, to Chartwells, our community partners, volunteers, and Ann Arbor families who support us year after year. This is one of those, slides that I spent way too much time on because I was trying to cram every single picture onto it. So it shows you some of the variety, and we did have a big snake at one camp, and just kids having fun at camp. So I'm happy to take any questions that you might have now.
Thank you so much. This program is amazing, and I think Dr. Swift introduced it the right way. It's one of the nation's best. It's self-funded, that's unique, and you can see how many people it impacts. So great work, as always, another
Thank you.
summer. Thank you.
Thank you so much.